on, or giving up is something that we experience when we encounter failure or dissatisfaction. We often neglect the other option of restarting because we fear of being stuck in this infinite loop that brings us nowhere. Some roller coasters have these large loops, and they usually end up taking us somewhere. I mean, it would be quite traumatizing being stuck in a roller coaster for the rest of your life. Life is like a roller coaster that takes you up and down constantly. What I'm saying here is that life is full of ups and downs, and sometimes you're stuck in this situation where you're forced to restart. What stops us from restarting is that we fear and worry about the possibilities of failure and the embarrassment that comes along with it. But allow me to ask you this: what's worse, failing and trying again, or staying in a place of comfort and complacency? Restarting something that didn't work out in the past can be challenging. It means facing risks and being vulnerable. But it also means opening up yourself towards a new growth. It may be easier to start something new rather than it is to restart something you started a while ago. But having the courage to restart something that you started previously is what brings you up to another level. A few years ago, I sparked an interest in the practice of Chinese calligraphy. Each stroke was able to outline a smooth line on the paper, creating one stroke followed by another. At first, it was enjoyable as I practiced the basic strokes. However, a few months into the study, I felt anxious seeing my teacher teach harder and harder characters every class. As some of you may know, I have an elder sister who may be not considered as perfect, but performs better than me in terms of all categories. Since she was doing so well in the calligraphy courses, I began to doubt myself, my ability, my talent, and my skills. Within the next month, I officially quitted the study of Chinese calligraphy. At that time, I was sure that I would never even dare to touch the brush used for calligraphy ever again. But turned out I was wrong. No journey to success travels in a smooth line, and it is inevitable to experience a stage of failure or giving up. 2 years later, my interest in Chinese calligraphy suddenly returned, and I had the urge of restarting this hobby. Yet, thinking back to the days when I suffered caused me to hesitate. But guess what? Restarting is also a choice. I didn't want to just give up, and I knew it was time to start writing again. The reason for us to restart sometimes is that we try the correct thing at the wrong time. You will know when to restart when the correct times come. We have to learn how to let go of the past, as we can't change what has already happened, but we can surely reflect upon it. Instead of dwelling on our mistakes or failures, we need to focus on what we've learned and how we can use the knowledge to improve in the future. Back in 2020, when the COVID-19 pandemic affected the world substantially, everyone was living under the fear of being ill. 3 days before the outbreak of COVID-19 in China, my family went to Egypt for a holiday. That was when the true nightmare began. For the next 2 months, my family traveled across 4 continents for safety. It was a memorable experience, but living in the fear of being ill was not desirable. Being in foreign countries with no one familiar was not easy, especially during such a special period. I remember buying my first mask at the airport. Before the pandemic, the term mask were extremely vague and blurry in my life. As time passed by, it became one of my closest companions throughout the journey across Africa, South America, Europe, and Asia, respectively. Now that it has been 3 years since the pandemic, it's time for everyone to regain the confidence in traveling, enjoy the freedom, and let go of the past. Hopefully, I'll also get a chance to restart my journey in traveling during this summer holiday. In conclusion, I want to leave you with this. Failure and challenges are a part of life, but it is not the end. Put in mind that restarting is also a choice rather than moving on or giving up. With the right perspective and attitude, we can turn our struggles into our stepping stones to success. We all have the power to take control of our lives and create a better future we want. I want to challenge you to be courageous and take that first step. The journey won't always be smooth, but it will be worth it. So, let us all have the courage to restart and make the most out of our lives. Thank you.